this second part of how to build a website. We are going to use HTML. We are as well going to use attributes this time. I'm going to show you how to make a text underlined, italic, bold, as well as colored, and I am going to make a link. Now, if you haven't watched the first part, I suggest you do so. I'm just going to go straight ahead and watch and learn. Now, first of all, we want to make the text italic. Now, I'm just going to make a tag here, and then I'm going to end the tag. And the I tag basically makes a text italic. It's very simple. All of the following tags are going to be very simple, as at least to remember. The I tag, of course, stands for italic. Then I'm going to make the bold tag, the B tag, bold B. Then I'm going to make the U tag, which is underlined. You gotta make sure that you end these though, otherwise you might get a bit weird results if you have text afterwards at least. So let's just preview this in a browser. I should open the folder and the file in our browser, and as you can see, it's italic, it's bold. It might be hard to see that it's bold as you don't have anything to compare to, but it is kind of bold and as well as underlined. Now I promised I make this colored as well, so now we're gonna learn a so-called attribute. Now an attribute is basically additional information. A browser always have these attributes preset, which means that they have a default value. I'm just gonna show you how the attribute looks like so you can get a better understanding of what it is. Now first of all, you name the attribute. The attribute we are going to use is style. This basically tells the browser what kind of information that it's going to receive, and therefore it can decide what to do with it. Within, or rather said after it, we have equals to and then double quotation mark, and within this we are going to type whatever information we want the style tag to carry around. Now we want to change the color. It's simple. As we are using the style attribute, we can just put color, and then we are going to make these two weird signs. Basically, since style basically is a attribute to create CSS. CSS is another language, and you usually don't write CSS straight on to a tag. You usually link a CSS document to your document, but that's kind of advanced, and I'm trying to keep this tutorial simple, so we are going to use the style attribute instead. Now within all of the CSS attributes, as they are also called, this color is an attribute as well. You basically build up all attributes in CSS like this. There are only attributes in CSS, and then after that you have this sign. I don't know how to pronounce it in English, and this sign. After that comes the information, just as with the HTML, which has style, and instead of the equals to and double quotation mark you have these two, and within here we are going to take and write the color. The color I'm going to use is blue. If you're familiar with hex or RGB, you write these just with a number and letters and numbers afterwards. RGB is written like this, and then you type like that. I'm assuming you aren't, so I'm just going to use blue. You can write basically all colors. After this now I'm going to make a link. I'm just going to make some space on my website, so I'll make 2 line breaks. Then I'm going to create a tag called A. The A tag is basically the link tag. It requires attribute to work, and this attribute is href. Href is basically where should we go. I'm going to link to Google. We need an exact URL. You could do it another way. I'm keeping it simple, so I'm not going to do that. With an exact URL, I mean you need to use the, if you're on a local, want to access a local file, you need to use file. If you're on a HTTP server, you need to use HTTP at the start of the URL, FTP or whatever. So I'm just gonna link to the usual Google, which is HTTP followed by these signs and then www.google.com, and then write google.com. Oh, Google. Yeah, like that. I'm going to save that, and now let's preview this in a browser. As you can see, this text have become blue, and we have a link a couple of line breaks down. If we press it, it'll take us to Google. Kinda awesome, huh? After that, we are going to. I don't really want the Google link to go in the same window. I want my user to still be on the page I've created. This might only be an informational source or whatever. I don't want him to have to go back in his historical memory to get back to my page. So I'm gonna use a attribute to make him open the link in a new tab. This attribute is basically called target. Now don't confuse this when you write your link later off with href. Target might be easy to replace the href with, as target seems more logical to use as the target for the website, placing the URL in here instead, which is horribly wrong. Within here you are going to use first an underscore and then where it should take you. Now these are there are top, and today we are going to use a thing called blank. Blank is basically takes you to a new blank page, and then puts the link, this link in that page. This will basically open a blank page with google.com. So let's save that and test it. We press here now. Oh, I don't think I updated. Like that. Now it'll make a new tab. As you can see, we have no historic, and we push it down, and we're back at our page. Now I'm going to show you one last attribute. Make sure you remember what an attribute is. It is a name, a equal to, double quotation mark, and after that information that the browser will use. I'm going to use the title attribute. The title attribute you can use on several other tags to make titles for text or images or just about whatever. I could use this on the P tag. You could try to use it yourself, just copy this once we're done with it. Within here, since let's say somebody didn't know what Google was, perhaps you don't, I'm just going to type here, when you hover google.com, the text google.com, a title is going to pop up. It's a little text underneath. You've probably seen it many times. I'm just going to say go to google.com, the world's most popular search engine, and then save it. If we now update, we'll see when we hover here, we'll get a little title underneath. We go to Google and here we are. Thank you for watching. If you feel like you like this video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up. As well, be sure to subscribe if you like to follow the series, and follow me on Google Plus under Web Designers. You find a link in the description. Thank you.